Okay, guys. All right, so our first call of September. So good morning and thank you for joining, of course. It's awesome to see you guys' beautiful faces in the morning. So today's call is our challenger chat, but I don't see any challengers on, which is good because I had reached out to Michelle because I wanted her to speak on the call today. Michelle it's only been a couple months that you've been coaching?
I think with you guys for like a month and a half because I switched over.
Okay. So she's doing amazing in the way that she is sharing and reaching out to people. I mean, she's already at Success Club 4 with a new coach, and it's the second of the month. She hit Success Club last month. So she's doing great things with her business. So I had reached out to her because I wanted her to share with all of us what she's doing and how she's reaching these people and how she is sharing and the things that she's doing when she does her power hour and things like that, just so we can see how she's getting her success and where she's getting her success from. So I had asked her to speak today. So I'm going to mute my line, Michelle, so you can just take it away.
So when Tanya asked me to speak this morning,
I'm on my call.
I kind of was like, I don't know what to say. I act like myself. I like speaking in front of people, but I don't know. No one's going to care what I do. And she said, no, just, say exactly what you do. So I guess the first thing is I be myself, and I do love helping people. So I kind of just like keep it real and tell people what I'm doing, even if I mess up some days. We've been doing a couple things with the kids over the summer, and I do have treats. But for the most part, I am sticking to my plan. So I tell people that, and I feel like sometimes I reach out to people. I call it like a cold call, where I'm like, okay, they're never going to respond, or they might not even want to do it. And they might respond back and tell me no. So I say, thank you for your time. But if you ever feel like you want to do something, if you change your mind, I still talk about the program, even though they're telling me they don't really want to do it, especially moms. And I know a lot of stay-at-home moms that want to do something but can't leave the house. So I'll mention to them, you can work out from home, and you can do meal planning and easy, simple things that you can do around the kids' schedules, which is why I fell in love with the program in the beginning. I check in weekly with people that tell me, oh, can you get back to me? I either can't afford it right now, or I can't do it right now. And as of right now, I don't have any kind of like fancy system that I use. I just kind of, like Tanya said in the beginning, she saves her messages and track on Facebook Messenger. That's what I'm doing right now. But as I'm growing, I do need to kind of start writing things down and keeping track of it better. I have 2 young kids, so I kind of incorporate them into a couple of things that I do. I made a video of them making my Shakeology on like a Sunday night, and people commented on the video and then messaged me like, oh my gosh, your kids can make it. What are they doing? What are you doing? Can you tell me about it? I love helping people, and I do have a regular job that I work during the school year. I work at a school, so I'm off for the summer. So I said to myself, I'm really going to try to build this business up over, I think I gave myself like a month and a half, thinking I wouldn't have to go back to the school at all. But I'm not there yet, but I'll get there. But I do love helping people, so that's what kind of gives me my drive to keep going. And of course, you guys have been amazing. I don't think that Natalie is on this call yet. If she is, oh, there she is.
I am. I just got on.
Hi.
Hi.
I feel like I'm always bugging her, and at first I always start out every conversation saying sorry, but I talked to her yesterday on the phone, and then I was messaging her about a couple of things, and she's been awesome. You guys have all been great with your posts. Sometimes I kind of like copy what you're doing, and then I'll put it in my own words. Or I look and see what other coaches are doing, and I'll change some things around just so it makes it sound like it's me, or I'll add a different picture or something, and I hope you guys are okay with me doing that. Other than that, I don't think there's too much else. Like I said, I do need a better system to start keeping track of things. As my team is growing and I'm going back to work, I do want to keep doing what I'm doing. And I think that's pretty much it. I also check in. I have a team, and I think I have a team of like 8 people at this point. And I went on a website that Tanya had given me. I had a little logo thing made. I made it like a group activity where we all picked a name. So we're called the Vibe Tribe. I had a little logo made, and the girls seem to love it. So I have my own Facebook page thing for that group. And I was thinking about doing something where I had like a couple of t-shirts made or like water bottles or something with the name on it for the people, so that you know, they could wear the shirt, because we live in like a small town and mostly everyone is in my group, you know, not from the town, but we're all pretty much local people. So maybe they can spread the word, and you know, other people want to join and see what we're doing. So I'm still in the middle of doing all of that. I haven't ordered anything yet, but it's just a couple of things that I'm doing. I think that's it, Tanya.
That's awesome. I love that name.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you. Do you, when you're like inviting people and things like that, are you doing it more through your texting them or calling them, or are you utilizing Facebook? Because I know you said that a lot of them are people that you kind of already knew, like moms that you knew wanted to work. And how do you present the business to them when you're asking them or you're telling them about it? Do you just come right out and, hey, I know that, you know, you wish you could do something from home because you have to stay home and blah, blah, blah. And then you just present the business to them. Like, how do you explain the business? I know sometimes that's where a lot of people get stuck, where sometimes they don't know what to say, or they don't want to seem abrasive, or, you know, they don't want to ask them too soon. So I just wanted to know what was working for you when you were inviting them either to your group or to your team.
So sometimes I'll message people that have commented or liked one of my pictures. I also started posting on my personal page a little more than I used to. So I'll post like regular everyday things, and then in between I'll post things about Beachbody. I'm listening to you guys and what you're saying about not posting very specific details about what we're doing, because I used to do that all the time, never thinking the other side of it. Like, people can just go sign up on any kind of, through anybody else on a website, right? So what I do though is I just reach out to, it's mainly people that I know, because I'll do like a Facebook Messenger message, and I'll say, hey, how are you? Do you have any interest in Beachbody? I'd say out of the number of times I've done that, there's a handful of people that don't even respond. So I'll put them on like a weekly check where I'm like, hey, I'm just checking back in with you. They still might not answer me. They might answer me. If they say, yeah, what's the program about? Or I've never heard of it. What are you doing? What is it? I kind of just have the same blurb that I send to everybody, and I explain the program as like a, you know, a clean eating, portion controlled, colored container system. There's meal plans, there's fitness program workouts, meal plans, meal prep ideas. I talk about the Shakeology. Someone at that point might tell me no, or might tell me yes. If they tell me no, it's too expensive, I'll say something like, hey, you know, even if you just save $25 a week, you can get your shakes at the end of the month. I kind of put it into perspective. It's about $4 a shake, which is less than what you might spend. Like, I know people that go to like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks every day. And if it's someone like that, I'll kind of put that into perspective. Like, hey, you could, you know, do something like this for less than what you're spending every day on Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or whatever. If it's a stay-at-home mom, I kind of like tailor it to whoever I'm talking to, because I know who they are and what they're doing. Hey, you don't have to leave the house. You don't have to pack the kids up. I try to help them think of, like, there's one girl on my team that always needs help with like meal planning and what are you making today? So I kind of talk to her about that. And then again, if they still tell me no, I never leave it on like a negative note. I always say, okay, if you change your mind, you can let me know. but it's a great program, and I'll kind of go through a couple other things again with them. And some of them have messaged me back. Like, oh, I changed my mind. I see what you're doing. There was one girl yesterday. She just had a baby, and she had talked to me before about it. And she said, I'm not ready to do anything yet. She's like, but even your posts are making me eat healthier. So I thought that was really nice. And I said, oh, thank you. You know, if you change your mind, let me know. You can do it around the baby's schedule type of thing.
That's perfect. Okay, perfect. So you're basically doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's why it's reflecting that you're hitting Success Club and almost already at Success Club at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to hear if you were doing anything different or how you were approaching it. So when you send these messages to them, like I know you had said you gave yourself like a month to not go back to teaching and stuff like that. Do you find that the fact that you just want to do Beachbody and that's it, do you find that that gives you the drive to share this with everyone and invite everyone because of what you want that goal to be?
Absolutely. I actually am starting a new job this September, and even people that I used to work with are saying, wow, you look great. What are you doing? So I'm still talking to them about it too. You know, people at the new school aren't going to know anything has changed because they don't know me. But that's definitely my drive. As I'm trying to figure out my kids' schedule and, you know, what they're doing, who's getting them off the bus and who's putting them on the bus, and even after school sports. But along with that, I think I'm also getting stressed about finding enough time to get everything done because it's nonstop from the time I get up in the morning, get myself ready, and then finally drop into bed at like 10 o'clock at night. And I need sleep. I'm not one of those people that like stays up all night. So I guess any advice? I know, Tanya, you talked about finding like pockets of time, which that's what I was going to say before. I'm not doing that right now because I don't have to. So I'm kind of like working all day or responding to people when I can. I've told mostly everyone on my team I'm going back to work. So, you know, I'll try to reach out to you when I can. But if you have any questions, you can still reach out to me and I'll just keep it and get back to you when I can.
I have a
That's
question for you,
perfect.
Michelle. So like when you go back to school, are you in school all day? Like during the school hours?
Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning, Tara.
When you go back to school, do you work the full school day?
Yeah, it's the whole day. So like 7 to 2:30 or so.
So like when you do that, because I'm at work, so I leave the kids off between like 7 and 7:15. I work until 4:30, and then I have to go pick them up, and it's like once I pick them up, it's that you know cyclical thing that goes on. I come home, I cook dinner, I get my workout in while they're eating dinner, and then I come out, I give them a bath and put them to bed. So I have a hard time finding, you know, time to sit down. It usually doesn't happen until they're finally asleep and I've eaten dinner and everything. So it's upwards towards like 10 o'clock at night. So like what, and I feel like I'm not doing enough. So do you have some kind of game plan of what's going to change when you don't have that full day? Because that's where I have a hard time. And I know that, you know, Tanya is a well-oiled machine, and I mean, she's a big scheduler. So, you know, what she does works for her, and I would love to get to a point where I can do that, but that's not my schedule right now. So being that you're doing so well, like what are the plans to like retweak your schedule so you can get in that FaceTime with people?
I'm not really sure. I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking like probably after school. So my kids get off the bus at like 3 o'clock and I would be here to get them off the bus. So between say, I guess 3 and 4, I'm not sure. I guess I'm just going to wing it, which is not my style at all. But,
Well, I
you know,
think that
last
you
year at
gotta
this
wing it
time,
until you figure it out, right? Because you're
right.
not in it yet.
I've been trying to figure it out in my head or write it down and see. My daughter's also playing fall ball, so she practices twice a week, double headers on Saturday. So I guess, you know, in the car while we're driving or, you know, talking to people that way. I'm not sure yet. I mean, when I figure it out and if it works for me, even if it doesn't work, I'll still share it and maybe you guys can help me out, or we can help each other out with scheduling and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's definitely, when I worked full time, that's how it was. It was a trial and error. Kept trying different things until you found the groove that actually worked for you. And it takes time to get there. That's when I would do a lot of stuff in the pockets. And then my lunch break. I never went to lunch with anybody because I wanted to build this business. So my lunch break was I sat for an hour, like, what are those things that horses wear, blinders or whatever. So I saw no one else around me and I was just focused for that hour and I got so much done. And then I would send to my mentor everything. Okay, I got this done. I got this done. I got this one. And I would send him a list of everything I did. He never asked me to do that, but he knew I had to do that because then I felt like it held me more accountable to get it done at lunch. And he knew that same time every day he was going to get that message. But that's just the things that I decided to sacrifice because how bad I wanted to be home like I am now. But, so I just sacrificed my lunch. I don't know how it is in teacher world with you guys. I don't even think you probably get like 20 minutes, 30 minutes when the kids have lunch and that's your lunch. That maybe you can do a little bit there, or like while you're eating. I don't know what you normally do during lunch if you grade papers or whatever. But maybe you can do a little bit of sending your invites out and answering some messages and stuff then. That might work for you. And then maybe, I know a lot of times they do warming up before the game starts at the field. So that can be a little bit of time for you too, where that could be a little pocket while they're warming up. We don't have to watch the warm up. We just have to watch the game. That's what I would do. I would be on my phone during the warm up before Kayla's soccer game. And then when the game came, my phone was set aside so I can focus and cheer her on and stuff like that. But I used like that little warm up time of usually like 30 minutes or so. You'd be surprised how much you can get done in 30 minutes to an hour. So you could try that and see if that works for you. I know Christina is in a school too, so I don't know how her Wi-Fi is, if she wants to share anything that she's kind of been trying with her schedule with finding the pockets being at the school all day.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? I'm on the
Yes.
turnpike.
Yeah, we can hear you. Safe travels.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've found little pockets throughout the day. Lunch is really hard for me because my Wi-Fi sucks, like in the teacher's lounge. But I'll do it during my lunch, and I'll do it after school, like during my planning time. So usually my plans are done ahead of time. I plan with the team, so a lot of the times we have one person that kind of takes over the plans, which helps me. So during that time, I'll just message people I usually just get back to people at that time. Like I'll just answer messages at that time. And then I'll do my inviting later. Actually, what worked for me really was having Albert's baseball practice last night. I just spent the whole hour and a half on Beachbody doing stuff, messaging people, reaching out to people. So since it was just a practice, I just used that whole time to just kind of message people. So it's still a trial and error for me. Luckily, I'm in a grade this year where it's not as intense with testing, so I have a little bit more wiggle room. So I'm the same way. I know I have a friend who does it in the morning. She wakes up early and she does all her work in the morning, and she'll just knock it out then, and then in the afternoon it's all messaging people back. So I think I'm going to try that also. Trial and error and figure out the best schedule for me.
Yeah. You'll find, we'll definitely all find in this business, it's a lot of trial and error. Your schedule is going to change a lot. Even with me being home, it changes. I've been lucky enough that I'm able to do my business and just work my business. But when I didn't, it was the same. It was trial and error. Like in the morning, I would clear out notifications and answer all messages while my computer was booting up and I was organizing my cubicle and getting my files ready to work for that day. So when I worked, I worked at a title company. So I did so many different jobs there, but one of them I was on the phone a lot, and it was with banks. So I couldn't multitask and do both. I had to put on my short sale negotiator hat and call banks. And then when I had a little pocket of a break, then I'd put on my Beachbody hat and do that. So the schedule, I can say, is really a lot of trial and error. But I love, Michelle, how great you're doing. And your posts are great with the way that you're sharing and everything too. That's why I reached out to you and asked you if you could speak on the call. Because I love to hear what everybody does, like what their schedule is, how they invite, like, you know, do you hold yourself back? Do you even think about what the person's response is going to be before you invite, or do you just invite and say, okay, we'll see what happens, you know? So I'd love to get that feedback from everybody just to see what everybody does. So I thank you very, very much for getting on and sharing with everybody what you're doing. And I would love in the team page at any time, in our Get Fit Crew team page, when you start to find little things that work for you with your schedule, I would love for you to post in there and share it, because, you know, like Tara said, I did work full-time. I built my business working a full-time job at the same time, and having timeshare with my kids and driving an hour every time I had to pick them up and an hour back every time I had to go get them, and dealing with all that stuff. So when I started this business, my life was all over the place. I had no time. I made the time. I didn't wait to find the time. I didn't, you know, I had to sacrifice some things. But for me, it was worth it because it was what I wanted to do. And I remember exactly, like, verbatim what my schedule was when I worked full time. I know exactly how I worked the business to be able to share. But that job was a desk job. It was like a secretary type job. It's different when you're a teacher or you're doing other jobs to where you legitimately have to be 100% in that job at that moment that you're working. You know, my mind didn't really have to be 100% into what I was doing. I could be thinking of other things, you know, but as a teacher, you have to be 100% in. So I love to hear from other people what their schedules are, because it could help so many other people on our team. You know, our team is constantly growing and we're constantly getting new people. And, you know, anything that anybody shares with, things that they might have found to work. Good morning, Owen. Things that they might have found to work in their little schedule, it could totally help somebody else. You know, like I know Tara with her job, she always has hundreds and hundreds of emails that she has to get done in a day. So I know she's just always at the computer ticking away. So anything that anybody does and figures out in their schedule, I would love for you guys to share it. So that way it might be able to help another coach on the team. So if you find something, hi, Owen, good morning. Decided to stay awake, huh? Before we end the call, I just wanted to see if anybody had any questions for Michelle with what she was talking about, with how she's inviting, how she's sharing.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that you have Success Club 4 and you hit Success Club last month, which is super duper awesome. How many of those people are challengers versus how many are coaches?
I try to sell it to people first as a coach so that they can get the discount. I explained to them that you don't have to do anything with the coaching unless you want to. So I
And
say,
do those people like show any interest with the business, or do they just agree to be the discount coach?
I think I have, out of my 8 people, I have 6 of them as coaches, and maybe 2 or 3 of them want to build a business.
So this is what I have a big problem with is, you know, so busy convincing them that they need to get healthy and fit that, you know, bringing up the business to me is really difficult. So like, what do you say to them about the business?
Meaning if they want to be a coach and build the business?
Yeah, about coaching at all, whether it be for just the discount or to do the business.
So I really only have one coach under me that is like an active coach trying to build a business. A couple of them haven't gotten their boxes yet. So I'm thinking the one lady will kind of just take off with it because she is like a business administrator out of school. So she knows a bunch of people at the school already. And I think maybe that sometimes is the biggest challenge, trying to find people. But she's kind of already found those people because they've been talking about doing something different for losing weight and getting healthy or whatever. The other girl, she calls me like every day. I don't know if she's on the call. She's not. She'll call me like every day and say, you know, she gets so far with someone and then they tell her no. The one lady yesterday, she was really upset because the one lady said, oh, I'm just going to keep doing my workouts that I'm doing, and I'm going to go to Walmart and buy a protein shake. And I was like, okay, you know. And she's like, I don't know what to say. I said, well, you know, still keep it positive. Don't shut her down, you know. But she was also, the lady was also bashing the company and saying things about, you know, she can't afford it. And just people don't understand that we don't control the prices and we don't control certain things about the program. So we're just here to tell you what you can do with it. I just said to her, you know, keep it open still and just say, okay, you know, thank you for your interest. If you ever change your mind, let me know, because this is what this program can do for you, type of thing. But now she feels weird because she sees the lady every day, like at the bus stop. And I have felt like that with some people that I've reached out to. I feel like every time I talk to them, they think I'm going to bring it up. So then I won't bring it up for a couple times that I do talk to them, because that could be annoying. I don't want to seem like I'm being salesy or trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
But then they also keep asking me about it. So if they ask me, I talk about it. If they don't, I don't bring it up.
Yeah, I have this girl that she's been in and out of my team many times. She's signed up as a discount coach. She's canceled it. She's bought her Shakeology. She's canceled it. Like, and last night she, you know, kind of messaged me out of the blue, and she's like, I've been seeing a therapist. She's a single mom. She's got 2 kids that are in high school. I've known her since we were kids, like 4 years old. But she still lives in Florida and I'm in New York. And she cold messaged me and she was like, I've been seeing a therapist. She changed her therapist, and she's like, I've come to the realization that I need to focus more on me and learn how to say no. And I was like, I'm so happy that your therapist told you that, because I have been telling you, you know, kind of the same thing for a really long time. I said, I always use the analogy of filling your cup. I was like, you can't pour out of an empty cup. I said, and you really need to focus on you. And she's like, yeah. I said, listen, you know, I want to put you in our group. And I said, she's like, no, I want to do this in silence. I don't want to post. I hardly go on Facebook. She's like, and, you know, in those groups, a lot of people have had, you know, bariatric surgery. So, you know, I'm not into like the super skinny thing. And I said, because I had asked her, how do you want me to coach you? Because I have to know in order to be successful for you. So if you want me to give you the tough love, I will, but I don't want to give you tough love that'll piss you off and makes you stop doing this. But I also don't want to be so lax that, you know, you kind of just fall by the wayside. And she's like, no, I want to talk every day, whatever. And that's when I brought up the group. And when she made that response, I said, listen, I'm fine with you. I said, I'm fine with you doing the one-on-one, but I just want to clarify something to you. I said, I've known you since I'm 4 years old, and I don't understand why you would think that I would think that you would want to go into a group like that. I said, our group is full of people that are our customers. I said, it's me and a couple other coaches. I said, I think out of all the challengers that I have ever experienced, whether it be my coach or any of these other coaches, I said one person has had bariatric surgery, and it wasn't for vanity. It was for medical issues. I said, so while I appreciate that you want to go and do this in silence, please do not make assumptions about these groups that are not true, because they're not. I said, and you can be a fly on a wall. I would never expect you to post if you want to do this in silence, but there is accountability and there is motivation that you get from seeing these regular women have regular lives, I said, and are making changes for themselves for the better. And I think that kind of allayed her issues, because I know what she's talking about. There are those fitness groups that they're full of Barbie dolls, you know. I'm not a Barbie doll. She's not ever going to be a Barbie doll. If I were the dimensions of a Barbie doll, like, you'd have to check me into the hospital for malnutrition. I'm not built like that, you know? So, you know, as far as what you said about keeping it positive, I really agree with you, because she was really going quickly down that negative road. And I said to her, I respect your wishes and I will coach you as you want, but please know that, you know, you have to have accurate facts about these things. I don't want you to make assumptions, because a lot of people do.
That's very true. They do. That was good, the way that you talked to her. You're very good with the way that you talk to people. and the words that you choose to use and how you choose to talk to them about it. And I love the fact that you asked her, what's the best way for me to coach you? I think it's very important that we ask them that because everybody's.
Well, yeah, and I learned that from you. I definitely learned that from you because I know that you have people that have very different personalities. And I know that there are some people that are very docile and very non-confrontational. So if you give them any tough love, it's going to make them like retract. If you were that way with me, I would be like, I have nothing to be accountable for. You know, you have to call bullshit on me. That's just the type of person that I am.
I know exactly.
Right.
And that's why it's so important to get to know. And it's not just to get to know your coaches. It's to get to know whoever you're talking to and whoever you're helping. And you got to kind of figure that out by looking on their wall and stuff too when we're talking to them and inviting them to know the type of person they are. Like, is it going to scare them off? Are they going to think we're calling them fat and that's why we think they should join our group? Like, you almost have to be able to read people sometimes. And that is that kind of like fine line. And I each year, this was the first year that I started it, and I'm going to continue it every year, but I find a word, and that's my word for the year. Like this year, my word was unapologetic. Like I was just going to share and invite unapologetically because I don't think I have anything to be ashamed of by telling somebody what's wonderful thing that has totally changed my life because I was never healthy and fit and I was a gym rat. I would go to the gym and spend hours there, hours away from my family that now I can take 20 to 30 minutes out in the garage and my family can join me if they want to. So that was a word that I always keep in mind. And then I added a new word yesterday when, like I had Thursday, I had my meeting with the corporate rep and got some really great feedback from her on a lot of things and some like good ideas from her also on different things that I can do to help the team. Because that's what I talked to her the most about, not about my business. We talked a little bit about mine and you know, she gave me some pointers on what I can do to use mine to build my volume and to get to the goals I want to get to. But I mostly spoke to her about our team and how I can help the team more and how I could be a better leader. So she had some really great things for me. But after talking to her, you know, I decided that my new word that I'm adding to unapologetic was bold. Like, this is it. Take it or leave it. Just like I am with when people meet me. This is me. Take it or leave it. You either like me or you don't. Either way, you decide and you go that side. Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't. So then that might be something that some of you guys might want to do is think of a word that's going to help you. So now I actually did a bold invite because that's the word that I made. I am actually coming right out and re-inviting this person, but a little bit in a different way where I'm asking them, okay, we've talked for years. You have gone into my free groups. I've invited you to my other groups. And the timing is just never right. You know, if you don't mind me asking, what's holding you back? Why aren't you taking that next step? What is holding you back? So I feel that's a very bold move is to just come right out and ask them why. And I'll tell them, you know, I hope you don't mind me asking, but sometimes my passion can come off pushy and I don't mean for that to happen. But, you know, why aren't you doing anything as your friend? You're not doing anything. So, you know, sometimes we need to have that word, one word, like in the back of our minds to help push us to not be afraid to ask them or not to be afraid to help someone. That's perfect, Michelle. In the chat, Michelle was saying that in the beginning, she always asks them what kind of coaching that they're looking for. Because you're right, there's tons of different personalities. And that's what I do with the new, hi Olivia, that's what I do with my new challengers and stuff like that. What's the best way for me to coach you? Like, do you need me to give the tough love? Do you need me to just be your accountability to where you can send me what you do? So that's super important. We need to make sure that we do that. But Michelle, did you have any last things that you wanted to say to everybody before we end our call?
Just one more thing really quick, which I guess is kind of more my personality more than anything else. Someone tells me no, or they kind of like bash the company a little bit, that almost turns it around to me for a challenge. And I mean, I have a twin sister and she doesn't bash the company, but she's not positive about what I'm doing. And she she doesn't say anything that's positive about it. She, you know, she doesn't, nothing about what she says about it is positive to me. And that, to me, in the beginning, I was like hurt by it, or what's your problem, or, but I know she's watching what I'm doing because she started eating better and she started like measuring food. And so she's trying to get better, I think, because of me, which makes me happy. But I'm still like, you know, you're my twin sister. You can't just be happy and try to, actually have 3 sisters and none of them really, none of them are really positive about it. So I feel like they're working against me, and I'm like, we're family, we should be, and I would motivate them and try to be positive for them. But so I think even when people are close to you, it can still make you, you know, irritable or whatever the word is you want to use, annoyed. But I kind of just use it as a challenge. My husband even isn't the biggest supporter of it. And I keep saying, look what I did this week, look what I did this month. To make this work, and this is what I want to do. I'm going to do this. So I turn some of the negative things around to make it a challenge for me. Like, don't tell me I can't do this, or don't tell me it's not going to work, because it is. And then when you guys post on my wall those things, I mean, I literally sit in my car, wherever I am, and I'm like in tears trying to read through it, and it's just great.
Well, you're doing amazing. That's why I reached out to you. You're doing a really great job. And that's why I post it, so you can see, because everybody loves recognition. Everybody loves to know that they're doing a good job. And that's just one thing I love. That's my favorite part of this business, is the recognition, whether it's for our team or it's for challengers in our group. You don't ever have to apologize for that. This whole team gets choked up and we cry all the time. So you're in the perfect spot. So like, it's very important to do the recognition, because it helps push people even more. It helps them like, oh my gosh, you know, like that's my favorite part of telling people they're doing a great job. I don't know if that's like my mom nurturing side. I want to let people know when they're doing a good job or what it is, but you're doing great. You just need to keep up with it. And just remember, like, my mentor and upline, Jen, she didn't have the support when she started. She didn't have the support of her family. She didn't have the support of her spouse. So the only thing we could do is just keep pushing through and prove them in all aspects. Because, and don't let their non-support stop you or hold you back. Like, when someone doesn't support me in something that I'm super passionate about, that lights a fire under my ass that makes me want to like totally prove them wrong even more and even faster. Like, just to show them, yeah, okay. You know, like, Alex didn't always support it. We would fight all the time over this little rectangle because I was on it a lot. And I would always be like, I'm working. He's like, no, you're on Facebook. I'm working. I'm working. I promise you. I'm not just chatting with my friends. I'm not just, you know, scrolling Facebook and commenting on stuff. I am working. And I promise you, you will understand this when this is the only job that's going to pay for everything. You will understand this when we're living in Tennessee and you don't have to drive that 12 hours. You know, and so when he sees my numbers and he sees things going in this direction, now he grasps it. Not that we're living in Tennessee yet or any of those things, but he understands it now. He goes to more events with me so he can see a lot of the stuff and he can understand it a lot more. So don't let any non-support ever hold you back. If it's something you really want, you basically need to tell him to read between the lines, because you're going to do what you want to do, because you know this is your calling. You know this is what you're supposed to be doing. Don't let anybody stop you. I mean, just think, where would you be?
Super duper hard.
Huh?
It's super duper hard.
It
You
is.
know, I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have that.
It's very hard. But
Spades.
think of it this way: where would all of us be if Jen would have given in to her non-supporters? I wouldn't be coaching. Which in turn,
we wouldn't even know each other.
Sarah wouldn't have seen it on my wall. She wouldn't be coaching, and the ripple effect. So you have to just stay strong and hold yourself up and beat that down. You know, you need to beat back and tell them, well, I'm sorry that you don't agree, or I'm sorry that you don't understand what I'm doing. One day I hope you do. But I would just really appreciate it if you weren't negative about it. I'm not negative about XYZ that you do that I don't understand. So I'd really appreciate it if you don't want to support me. That's fine. I don't need your support to be successful in what I'm doing. But I do need you to kind of like stop with the negative, because I'm trying to keep only positive stuff in my life right now. You know, It's tough. It's not easy to do, especially when it's family or your spouse. It's not easy to do, but that's what I had to do. And then eventually he started going to events with me and asking Mike questions and learning a little bit more and understanding, oh, Tanya isn't the only coach in the world that's always on her phone.
I tell Tanya all the time, I wish that we could have like a powwow, like with I wish that we could all get together with our spouses and sit them in front of Mike, because Mike has been on both sides of the coin.
They do that at every winter summit.
Yeah.
They do a marriage thing where
right. But it's not, but the easy part is getting us there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other halves that build this wall. I don't know, and I really don't know where it comes from, right? Because you have to assume that the person that you chose to marry knew that there would be times when things aren't going to be perfect, but that they believe in you, that they chose you, and with you comes all the characteristics of you, and there had to be some kind of spirit in you that they knew all along. And now that it's coming out in this type of venue, while it's really uncertain and it's really scary, like, the support is integral, because I have to tell you that if it was not for the crew, and especially, you know, Natalie, Tanya, and Christina, because we talk ad nauseum, there would be many things that could happen. I wouldn't be coaching. I might be divorced. All kinds of things, because there is not, it's hard to stand in the middle of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's hard to stand in the middle of the storm then when you're getting beaten from this side. So you move this way a little, but then you get beaten from this side, and it's coming from the top and the bottom and everything like that. And without this core that, like, to me, the crew, like, is, if I were to, like, make a graphic of it, like, I'm standing in the middle and everybody is physically, like, standing around me where they're touching, so I don't fall down, I don't break, because without that, and especially, like, talking to you, Michelle, because you're relatively new to us, the amount of support that we get here is probably unparalleled on most teams, where we're friends first, even though we don't know, you know, all the ins and outs. You know, the people that are vocal tend to be the ones that are most supportive and supported, because we share this honesty with one another that it's not work. This is not just work. You know,
right?
This is not a paycheck that comes in. This is a lifestyle that, without the support of people, you can't do. At least I can't do. And, you know, when all of the negative comes at me, I definitely turn immediately to everybody here, because if not, I would have given up. Probably not just coaching,
You're cutting out.
but a lot of, you know, the positivity that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's how this team is. I saw your thing, Natalie. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, I love you guys. I gotta go.
Okay.
Love you. Gotta go.
I'm gotta end this call anyways, because we're almost out of time. Zoom's putting time limits on these things. But Michelle, I wanted to thank you really quick for.
Albert wants to say something.
All right. So real quick, I'm just going to keep it brief, because I'm also not going to be looking at you because I'm driving. But
thanks for
I just wanted to give you the male perspective on this, and I'm going to be completely honest. So if Alex is there, I'm sorry, but
he's sleeping.
Basically, we are a bunch of insecure people that are a tribe of women, say in particular, because that's what, when you get a group of women together, you might as well call it a tribe. And today, when you have women together, it intimidates the hell out of us.
Mm-hmm.
So when we continuously always see you guys on the phone and aren't we getting shit? So it's not in any way, shape, or form meant to be, and I can't speak for all men, but I know that it's not meant to way that to carry you down, but at the same time, it's not productive or positive. And we're not, that's why I can speak on this. But, you know, we have to get better at doing that. So, you know, in terms of also, and this goes to even talking to men about the program, like I talk to guys all the time. They're always asking me, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, how come you lost all that weight? Or what do you, you know, so on and so forth. And when I tell them what I do, it's like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. It's like, all right, well, if you're interested, just let me know. And then 2 days later, same question. So it's, you know, we don't want to give up anything that we think we know we're doing right. And we want to continue down that path until the moment where we break. So maybe it's a moment of like when Christina and I basically getting into a very large discussion and her basically making me realize, and this was a while ago, that I'm going to be on the phone. So get over it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm going to be doing my business as she's right. So now I just have to learn to pause and wait until my time to be able to talk to her. But, you know, it's a
Yeah. He froze.
conversation. People that are understanding the voice. That's it.
Albert, you're awesome. You're always awesome.
Yeah, just gonna say that. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi, but you guys keep cutting out. Albert, thank you so much for getting on and saying
Thank you.
It was great to hear.
I think that, yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
We'll play your little snippet to our husbands.
Exactly.
Whatever.
He's like, whatever works. All right, guys. Well,
I like the beard, by the way. The beard.
yeah. Oh, you guys are frozen, so I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or not, but I'm going to end the call. I don't know if you can hear me, but have a great rest of your day.